Welcome to Real Life Investing. This is Al getting in contact with you guys today. Going to be talking to you about the Clarity Act. So, one of the things we've been concerned about lately is the fact that every time we see something happen in crypto, it's not permanent or there's always some kind of uncertainty. A lot of us thought Bitcoin was going to be higher. We thought that the altcoin market would be higher. A lot of things that by now that we thought would be in a little bit better condition. But at the same time, we've been patient, we've been looking. But one of the things we wanted to think about is we have to be aware of worst case scenario. But remember, whatever we say on the channel is not financial advice. However, if you like what you hear today, we just ask you to like and subscribe to the channel. We are growing and we ask you to grow with us. Also hit that hype button to hype us up a little bit, and we definitely would appreciate it. Thank you. Now, but let's go ahead and start talking about this. What if the Clarity Act does not pass? What could we really do about that? You know what I mean? So if things don't pass, if things don't go forward, because right now the probability of the Clarity Act passing has gone down a little bit. Also, we're dealing with a lot of infighting, etc. But hopefully things will be resolved, but we have to be aware of worst case scenario. So let's think about it real quick and say, okay, there's several things that have not gone our way in the markets these last few months and years. What if this worst case scenario were to happen? We have to put ourselves in position that we can be successful no matter what happens in the market. So that's one of the things we have to look at right now. So let's go ahead and see what would be the biggest benefit or who would benefit the most from a possible failure of the Clarity Act. I hope it passes, but at the same time, what if it doesn't? And we have to think about what would be the biggest winner. So let's go ahead and look a little bit. Right now, I see Bitcoin dominance at 60%. And one of the biggest benefiters of the Clarity Act failing would be Bitcoin. Reason why is because that Bitcoin is going to be your least dependent on regulatory clarity. The SEC has already treated Bitcoin more like a commodity than a security, so you definitely don't have a situation to worry about there. It has no central issuer. Nobody's at, Bitcoin is already decentralized, so in the definition of the word, so no issue there. It already has spot ETFs, so there's already money poured into Bitcoin. So therefore, it's not going to just all of a sudden collapse, etc. Also, institutions already understand Bitcoin. So anything that institutions already understand, they can get behind and say, okay, we're going to support this crypto. So even though there are certain things that have occurred the last few years, we know that Bitcoin is one consistency that all the firms agree upon. Say, hey, this is more treated like a commodity than a security. So we don't have to worry about certain tax breaks that are going to be taken away, et cetera, et cetera. So if Clarity fails, the investor is going to rotate to this safe crypto, especially from a legal perspective. People like safety and security, especially when it comes to their investments. And that's also one of the biggest reasons why a lot of people are not into crypto right now, because of the fact that there is no Clarity Act and there is no quote regulatory system that is truly giving the definitions that would give Bitcoin and other cryptocurrencies more support and more security. So that's an issue that we're dealing with right now. So this would definitely strengthen Bitcoin dominance over altcoins. And what could happen is it could hurt speculatory utility tokens, but that's the thing. We would start leaning more into Bitcoin and less into, speculatory coins. So just a little bit of a heads up on that. Trying to see what else we could look at, but definitely, one of the things we can understand is that Bitcoin, by having that limited supply and moving forward, there would not be an issue. That would be the one crypto that would also benefit the most. Would definitely be Bitcoin. All others, maybe they would do okay, but we have to understand that Bitcoin would benefit the most. Now, what else would benefit privacy coins like Monero? I'm looking at Monero right now. Last 24 hours, it's been down a little bit for only like 2%. Let's see. So looks it's been up over the month for, let's see, what, 11% over the month, etc. So Monero would benefit as well. And also your privacy coins would benefit if the Clarity Act does not pass. So one of the things you got to understand about Monero, it's not going to be in every single exchange. And there is a possibility that Monero could be taken away from certain exchanges because it's not regulatory. But the privacy um, token issue is going to be one of your best bets if the Clarity Act does not pass. But whatever exchange you get into, make sure you can get your crypto for if it's Monero or any other coin. If you have any issues, you want to make sure to be able to get that off of that exchange if it's going to be delisted. So remember, not your keys, not your crypto. So make sure that you keep monitoring and make sure that your exchange, if it does hold privacy coins and your personal privacy coins, make absolutely sure that does not all of a sudden end by them deregulating your coin off of that particular exchange. So want to understand that for sure. So the clarity is going to be partly about integrating crypto into the regulated financial system. If it fails, the anti-establishment system in crypto will rise again. And so that's why the user is going to prefer decentralized, censorship-resistant ecosystems over institutionalized crypto. So the privacy coins often rally during periods where you have distrust towards regulators and governments. So these are the things that we're going to have to look at in that case. So who else would benefit from the failure, and I hate to say it, we just have to go through this, the failure of the Clarity Act? Who else would benefit? We will look at Ethereum as well. So in this case, Ethereum is not going to benefit as greatly as Bitcoin, but Ethereum would most likely benefit pretty well. So the Ethereum would benefit less than Bitcoin if Clarity fails, because Ethereum has certain things around it like staking, whether parts of the ecosystem resemble securities, and your DeFi regulation. But you got to understand this one thing about Ethereum. Ethereum's network is so large that the institutions may still treat it as the second safe crypto asset, because right after Bitcoin, the other crypto that you think about is Ethereum. So Ethereum has been considered more of a commodity than a security in a lot of rulings. So it says if regulation remains unclear, capital may concentrate into Bitcoin and ETH while avoiding smaller altcoins. And also you do have your ETH ETFs as well. So don't forget that. So Bitcoin, Ethereum are going to really do well if there is an issue. Hopefully there will not be an issue. Hopefully the Clarity Act passes, but like I said, we have to be aware that these things may occur, guys. Just saying. So another set of tokens that would benefit from, and I hate to say it like this, benefit from the failure of the Clarity Act are going to be your truly decentralized DeFi tokens. So projects emphasizing decentralizations may benefit philosophically if the market rejects regulated crypto infrastructure. So let's go ahead and talk about those. Aave would be one of your biggest benefits. Have your business that, and Uniswap, maker. So what the Clarity Act is going to attempt to define is what counts as sufficiently decentralized. So that's one of the things we want to be aware of. So if the bill dies, then fully decentralized protocols may continue operating in the gray zone. In other words, that little, foggy space, rather than adopting to stricter federal definitions. So some DeFi users do prefer that, just to be honest with you in this particular case. So Aave and other of your coins would strongly benefit from that. Aave's been around for a good while. And for some reason, it just seems to keep on trucking. So no matter what, it seems like Aave is going to be good regardless of what happens, good or bad. Another thing we want to look at is let's say that the U.S. fails to pass this bill. Automatically you got to use a little bit of common sense and realize that other non-US focused ecosystems are going to benefit more greatly from this. So if America remains unclear on crypto rules, capital and innovation would continue moving overseas. And that's where a lot of people are frustrated by the fact that America is lagging behind in a lot of regulation, a lot of clarity, and therefore we're not able to get some of the desired assets that we like. So ecosystems this could help could be tied to Dubai, Singapore, Hong Kong, Switzerland, and offshore exchanges, etc. So just a little bit of a heads up: if you do not have some type of regulation in the United States, that crypto money is going to be going other places. So think about people that would benefit, like BNB, Timecoin, Tron, etc. But you got to look at this and be absolutely aware of what's going to happen. So my personal thoughts here, from what I'm seeing overall, Bitcoin is going to be the biggest benefit, have the biggest benefit no matter what, in my opinion, whether the Clarity Act passes or not. So something to consider there. But let's think about one other thing. What would happen if the Clarity Act fails? Like, who's going to be the biggest losers? One of the biggest losers, in my opinion, would be XRP, because of the fact that there's so much riding on the Clarity Act and XRP. People are thinking that XRP is going to rise up to at least $8 to $15 after the Clarity Act passes. So something about XRP is just like that guy who's trying to kick the football in the peanut strip, and Charlie Brown's going up. He's trying to kick the football, and Lucy's just yanking it from him at the last minute, and he misses the football, and he just falls down. So that's the way it's been with XRP for the last X number of years, because of the fact that every time you think something good is going to happen, something not so good happens. But hey, I hope that that is not the case, but a lot of times it's what we're looking at. Other crypto that would not benefit from this would be, and I would say, I don't want to call them losers per se, but I will say that this will definitely hurt their stock. Solana would be hurt, tokenized securities, US focused exchanges, staking heavy ecosystems. A lot of your staking would really be in trouble because of the fact that without the clarity, people probably say, hey, you're staking, and because of this, we want to declare this some type of security, et cetera, so we can tax the heck out of you. Projects that generally benefit going to be from the clear rules, like Solana would definitely need clear rules, and you got the ETF expansion, different things that are going to happen, compliant staking. A lot of these different things are going to occur if we can get that clarity. However, these guys are going to suffer if we're not getting that clarity. But overall, I just want to make sure to reiterate the point. From what we're seeing right now, Bitcoin is going to be our absolute safest bet if this thing fails. So my personal opinion and my personal thoughts, as you see crypto, Bitcoin right now below 80,000, this would be a good time to think about positioning yourself. Hopefully it'll fall even further. But the main thing is that no matter what happens, whether clarity passes or not, Bitcoin is going to be our winner one way or another. Slow and steady wins the race, and apparently, Bitcoin being slow and steady as a crypto would probably be the biggest bet and the biggest winner for most of all of our investors. This is Al, Real Life Investing. Really appreciate you guys. Make sure that you, how can I say, give us a like and subscribe. Thank you for all that you're doing. And let's continue to hope this clarity passes. But at the same time, if it doesn't, we got to be prepared. Have a good day. Talk to you soon. Bye.
Please share, like, comment, and subscribe to Real Life Investing. And thank you for watching.